Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Yaki. I am an artist here on the internet, and today we have a very fun video. So if you've been watching my channel, you know that I am obsessed with Posca Markers. I absolutely love Posca Markers, so I had the thought, is there anything that's better than Posca Markers? So today's video is all about that, so stay tuned and we're going to test 5 different brands against Posca Markers. Alright, so in today's marker showdown, we got Posca's going up against Sakura's Perma Packway. We have Edding's Permanent Acrylics. We have Pebo's Acrylic. We have the Karen Pigment Deco Brush that you've probably seen all over TikTok. And then lastly, we have Crink. I finally caved and bought myself some Crinks. These are the K11s, and I'm very excited to get to play around with these. Alright, let's get to some swatching tests as well as some first impressions tests. So I'm going to start with the Sakura markers. These are really nice because they came in their own little box, which is super handy. None of the other markers came in their own little container. Well, besides the Deco markers, but that's a little excessive. These are so nice, and I really like that they are small. I can see me like adding these to the arsenal of markers. They are all 1mm nibs, which is comparable to like the smaller sizes of Posca markers. And this pack came in 20 colors. I'm not sure if more are available, but this is like a good solid lineup of colors. If you like look down here, like that's solid. You got several different greens, you got some fluorescent colors, you got some more shiny colors. So I think that for doing some finer line work or even like lettering, these markers would be really cool for. So let's do a couple swatch tests and let's see how this goes. All right. Oop, oop. Are you running out on me? Alright, I flipped it around and that seems to be okay. It's pretty dark. Alright, let's just go with some like primary colors just to get a little comparison going. Alright, nice red. Not too brilliant, but it is a good red. Nice Ghibli sky blue. It's not pilling up the paper either, which is really, really nice. Ooh, I like this yellow. That's a nice yellow. For doing like larger projects though, these aren't really gonna cut it, but for adding details, I think these would be great to have. All right. So these are the Sakuras. Great. And first impressions though, I like them. They fit well in your hand. I like the case that it comes in, so two thumbs up so far. Alright, next we're going to do the Edding acrylics. These I got from Blick. It says that they can be used on canvas, paper. This is acrylic marker. Let's see, does it say it can be used in anything else? Various surfaces for wood as well. The water-based ink is quick drying. So it's acrylic marker, but it's water-based. Low odor, permanent, light fast. Alright, cool. So let's try these out. My thoughts is that they're going to be really punchy for colors. So let's see. These feel like something you would get at like Office Depot and like their poster section. That's my first impressions. Ooh. It has like a whole like how to use your marker section. That's kind of nice. Something to keep these together as well. A little pop top. I prime most of these ahead of time, so. Ooh, no, that's kind of watery. I don't know about these. Okay, the red's pretty solid though. But the black is kind of watery. Blue is solid. These ones also come in 14 different colors, and they're heat resistant. So that's like the kind of cool thing about these. I think it said that they're heat resistant up to like 400 degrees. That's a different green. Look at how different these two are. It's a little wild. I'm just gonna keep this marker out for labeling. It's already coming in handy. Edding. So yeah, one fun fact about these is that they are heat resistant. Double check on their website though what surfaces they can be used on, but I thought that was kind of interesting. So first impressions, they're fine. that's kind of where I'm at with those ones. Next up is going to be the Peebo acrylic markers. One thing that just stands out initially is that these come with a spare nib and it's attached to the marker, which is super nice because most markers you have to buy extra nibs for. That's the first time I've ever seen that. These markers feel very similar to Molotow markers, and the nib on these is 1.2, which is kind of interesting. So it's not a 1 or a 2, it's a 1.2. And these ones come in 47 different colors, which is absolutely wild that I'd never heard of this brand before. I'm interested to see what kind of other colors that these come in besides just this basic pack that I got. But let's go and do a little swatch test. Ooh, that's nice. I don't like this nib though. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of scratchy. It's a little scratchy. These are kind of hard to get out of the box. Alright, red. It's smooth. It's really smooth on this paper. This is more of like a royal blue. It's not as opaque as the other ones though. You can kind of see through it a little bit. Yeah, even the camera's picking it up. Go to yellow. Alright, yellow also, a little opaque. Nice shade though. And lastly, let's do green. Like a lucky green. Alright, so this is Peebos. They're okay, again, probably on the same playing field as the Edding, but I think I might like the Edding better than these ones, just so far. Alright, so we got these three out of the way. Let's do the Deco brush. So I'm not gonna lie, I played around with these because I couldn't wait to test these out, and oh my god, I just keep wanting to go back to draw and color and stuff with these. Yeah, so my judgment right now is a little skewed, but I will say for packaging, like, oh my days, look at this box. It even has instructions for like how to care for your markers with this box. Like this box was like designed for them. And it comes with like a swatching thing too, which is really nice. And it's like magnetic. It's so fancy. It's way too fancy for me. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a little swatch of these ones. It's so smooth. Is it the darkest dark? No. But was it smooth? Yes, it was. I wonder if you do like multiple layers, if they will end up, because you can see like the lines, like where like the marker was on these. That's a rich blue. So in terms of these being like a paint marker, I don't know about that, but for someone that was into like lettering or more like paper-based stuff, like I draw a lot on like wood and metal and like more like recycled stuff. I don't know how these will really work out for that. because they are on the watery side, but they are smooth. They are their own thing, I will say. I have not used anything else that is like these markers. Feeling the hand is really nice, using them is really nice. I do really enjoy them, but as like a fancy coloring marker. I don't know if it's like a comparison to Posca. Alright, so let's see how these colors pack up against the Posca markers. My favorite. It's just like the most opaque one out of all of them. Oh, I forgot one. I already started and I forgot one. So we'll have to do the cranks after these. All of these are doing really well on this paper too. It's just like ink and marker paper from like the Michaels brand, like sketchbook. Good job, Michaels. Ooh, this one's fresh. Like the only one that compares to these are the Eddings, honestly, like so far. Like you can see, let's see if I can point. You can see like the marker strokes in these ones, but the Poscas are just like filling themselves out. Alright, so that is Posca. Alright, then lastly, we have the expensive markers. The markers that are more expensive than the Karen Deco brushes. We have the crank. Alright, so first impressions, the packaging is brilliant. I love it. It's sleek. It draws your eye in. It's very like iconic. It tells you just some stuff on the back about it. They're handmade in the USA. This pack comes with 12 colors, but these also come in a total of, I'm not sure, I just wrote down 12. So these come in 12 different colors for the K11s at least. Alright, let's go through and do a little color swatch and just look at how pretty that is. That chrome. You can see through the cap. It's got a little thing, you can put it on your shirt pocket if you want. Highest quality inks and markers, New York City. Ooh, it's smooth. I'm curious to see how that dries next to the Poscas. We're just gonna leave these ones out for a second because this box is a little hard to get these back in. Let's test the red out. That is a brilliant red. That is a red red. The only red that's close is that one. The rest of these are pretty muted in comparison. We got blue. These need to dry for a second. They're a little wet. That's the only thing I could say so far as like a complaint. They are super nice. This color is just, it's punchy, and that's what I'm looking for. There's green, there's green. Hot diggity dang. So for the crank ones, the only ones that kind of are these two, which are a little watery on this paper, so I wonder how they would do on like wood or plastic or ceramics. But the black and the red dried really nicely. Those ones are still wet. But the black compared to the Posca, it's like just as matte, it's just as filled in. The Posca I'd say is a little bit darker though. This has a little bit more gray tones, more charcoal tones to it than this one. So super interesting though. Fun markers. I'm excited for the rest of these tests. All right, let's get into what's the next test? We're going to do opacity. We're going to do an opacity test. All right, cool. So let's get into it. All right, so this is the opacity test. We're going to be testing these yellow markers. I would normally be using white, but there wasn't white in every single pack. So we're going to be using these yellow markers, making a line and like a little scribble on top of this black line to see how much the colors shine. So it's basically how much light goes through the yellow to pick up the black that comes back out. So that's very simplistically, a very simple answer of what opacity is. So let's see which color packs the most punch. We're going to start with the Sakuras. All right, it's not really picking this up on the camera, but it's kind of there. The marker picked up more, I think. So Sakuras, they're all right in the middle of the road. All right, and then we're going to test the Edding. I think these ones are going to do pretty well. Oh yeah. So those are pretty opaque. So you can see there's not a lot of black that's shining through it. Next we have the Karens. So we'll see. These ones are supposed to be, but I don't know. Ooh, yeah, no, that's not good at all. Wow. Yeah, so those didn't really pick up much. You could probably layer them, but I'm not sure. All right, then we have the Crinks. Or sorry, then we have the Crinks. Ooh, I thought these would do better, honestly. So the Edding is still winning. All right, let's try the Peebos. Here we have a contender for the Eddings. All right, so last up in this test is going to be the Posca marker. Let's see where it lands. Drum roll, please. All right, so which one looks the most opaque to you? To me, I think it's the Posca, the Peebo, and then the Edding. That's my line. So I'm going to rank these. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. I might actually switch these two. Yeah, I'm going to switch these two. So this is 5, and that's 6. All right, that's where they rank for the opacity test. Let's get on to the next one. All right, so for the next test, we're going to test vibrancy. We're going to see how well the color can get packed into these small little paintings that I'm about to do. So I just have a bunch of flowers that we're going to draw, and yeah, so we'll get to it. Hi, voiceover Yaki here. So I just wanted to come on here and give some of my thoughts about some of these markers. So we're going to start with the Edding acrylic art markers. I gotta say, wow, these markers punched in some color, and I was really surprised by them. It's also really cool that they are heat resistant up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty wild. And the only downside that I had to them was that the nib was pretty big, so for these smaller paintings it was a little bit harder to do. Next up we have the Peebo acrylic. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name of this, it's just how I read it. I love that it had an extra nib with it. I'd never seen that before, and I thought that that was really clever. But the nib that came with some of these was pretty terrible. It was really scratchy and cracked, and I don't know how to fix that. So I want to try some other markers, other colors, just to see if I can get better luck with the nibs, but the ones that I got were not the best. Next up are the Sakuras. I learned after that I bought these that they do come in bigger sizes. So this tiny little 1mm nib, I tried to color in this, but it was taking forever, so I did cut some shortcuts with it. But I did really enjoy using these overall. They're definitely become something that I use for like finer detailing in paintings coming up. There's me cutting corners. Yeah, so the Sakuras they're really nice. If you need like a fine liner, I think that they would be really well for you. Alright, then we have the Deco brushes. I really do love coloring with these, but I will give this really harsh critic choice of saying that they are just like an adult Crayola marker. I'm not gonna lie. But with that being said, I do find myself wanting to use them for like sketches and for just drawing up stuff on the fly, like that I don't want to get my iPad out. It's nice to have them. Is it worth the price though? No, absolutely not. Then finally we have cranks. These are going to be my new love. I already see me wanting to get more of them, the bigger ones, and then adding them into my collection of paint markers. One day I'll show you guys how many paint markers I have now. It's absolutely insane, but I do use most of them and do replace like single markers pretty frequently with paintings that I'm working on. So the expensive marker is worth the hype, I will say. The pigment's beautiful, they're well constructed, writes consistently, and I plan on buying more. And the last one that I did was the Poscas, just to have a little comparison to the other ones. So I know it, I love it, it's Posca Marker. So I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of this footage. See ya! Alright, so now that we're done with the testing, let's talk about costs. So in total, this is going to be a 2-part series, and I have the costs for all of the markers that we're going to be testing. So in today's video, we tested the Crank markers, we tested the Sakura markers, we tested the Edding markers, tested the Karen markers, as well as the Peebo, which I spelled wrong on here. So as you can see, it's a good spread of costs, being from also the most expensive to the cheapest. In terms of value from what that we tested out of these, even though the Cranks have the highest price tag, I think that they were the best marker. I think that they are the best marker that stands up to Posca's. So which one would I prefer to use? I'm going to have to do one more test to find out. I'm going to put them against each other in a bigger painting, but just so you know, these are how these break down per marker. So this is the cost, and like if I bought a set of them, that's how much that it costs. These markers could be way more expensive if you buy them individually. So just note that if you're going to your local art store and you see a price difference. So like the Sakuras came in like a 20 pack, and like these Cranks came in a 12 pack, but individually they're probably more than that. So cool, they're the costs for you guys. Do you think that the Cranks are worth it? Let me know down below. So we made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. So the final drawing that I did was a moth. I did one with the Posca markers, and then I did the other with the crink markers. And these came out so similar that it's really hard for me to pick which one I like better. The colors are like a little bit more richer with the crink markers, I will say, while the Poscas are like a little bit more muted. Like, look at those reds. They're really different. So I will say that I don't have a top marker yet, because we're going to do another part to this video where I test 5 more markers, so stay tuned for that one. And then we will put them all up against each other and figure out which one is the big winner in the end. So, all right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know down below if there's any markers that I missed, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.